Here's a quick guide on how to set your tattoo station up. Now you can do these steps in whatever order you want. This is just how I set my station up. Now we're gonna go over each item you're gonna need in order to set your station up. If you need to, pause the video, take notes, and just make sure you have everything you need in order to get your station fully prepared, which will make the process so much smoother once your client's in the chair. Keep in mind with each tattoo, you're typically going to use different needles, so just make sure you know your line weights and what needle size you need to use. And if you need help with that, you could drop a comment below and I can always help. Keep in mind, there's so many different brands of all these different supplies you're going to need. So when it comes to stencil stuff, glides, ointments, inks, if you guys have any questions on that, I'm also here to help. You can always drop a comment below. When it comes to gloves, make sure you guys have nitrile on deck. Some people are allergic to latex, so just a key tip. Always make sure your station is fully clean before you set up. You never know what kind of dust, particles, stuff that's in the air can fall onto your work area. So when it comes to putting a barrier down between your station and your tattoo supplies, you can use dental bibs, you can use plastic wrap. There's other stuff out there, but I find those two key items work the best. I always like to make sure I have enough paper towels broken down. Now, if you watch the way I break these paper towels down, I'm pretty much putting them in a straight line. So when I go to rip them, instead of doing them singly one by one, I can just rip them in sets. And it's gonna eliminate a lot of time and you're gonna have enough paper towels ready to go for your tattoo. From there, I'm gonna put all the key items that we went over in the beginning of the video in my station, ready to go, so I can fully set up. There are a ton of different ways to wrap your machine. I find that this is one of the best ways to do it. So I'm using my Scentsy wrap to wrap the bottom. That's the part I hold. It gives me a nice grip. And then the barrier film is that nice protected sheet to go over the digital display so I can still see the display, change my voltage, and see everything on the machine that I need to. Just a reminder, there's so many different ways to set your station up. I just find that this way works for me. When it comes to taking out your glide, you're going to use that tongue compressor. Pull out as much glide as you need for the tattoo. I always found, especially in my beginner days, I always used way too much glide than I needed, but that's something you're going to figure out during your tattoo journey. I always put a small amount of glide where I'm going to set my ink cup. That way I can't shift or move during my tattoo process. When it comes to your green soap, always make sure you have a bottle cover over your bottle. That's something you're going to use all throughout the tattoo process. Also keep in mind, if you guys need any help with a mixture of your green soap, this is a really important step, and you guys can always drop a comment below. Unless you want to wear your ink, I highly recommend you always shake your tattoo bottles with a paper towel on top. At the bottom of the screen, I'm filling up my black ink. Keep in mind, you always want your ink bottle to be higher than your ink cup. You don't want your ink bottle to ever touch the ink that's pouring into the cup. We're all set up and ready to tattoo.